the table, drinks in the air. Welcome to the podcast with the perfect pair. From the fell to the bar, we're keeping it live. Crisp poker, good times, and a whiskey on ice. Grab a drink, call a raise, and let's shuffle up and deal. This is Cards and Cocktails.
Welcome, everyone, to Cards and Cocktails. Slick Rick Skull Mike from Odds Bar and Bistro, which is right next door to the Lodge Mahal. We've got a fun one, Skull, today. Our good friend, the man himself.
Max Payne.
Max Payne,
Thank
DQ.
you for joining us today.
What's up, everyone?
DQ, before we get into it, we've got to find out. Skull and I couldn't understand. You love our live stream. You've said that over and over. How did you get involved with the Lodge? How did you come to us first? We don't remember.
I found you through Bones.
Okay.
So Bones was coming down to San Antonio along with Seti the Poker Traveler.
Right.
And Chaz.
Right.
And then at the time they were, some of them were saying, hey, go play at this other stream, and we tried it. And then Bones goes, now the place you want to go to is the Lodge.
Wow.
And I go, really? And I go, okay. So then I started tuning in. I heard the two of you, and I was like, man, this is fantastic. And so as funny as it sounds, as stupid as it sounds, because I know you're doing a podcast, I actually fell in love with the two of you commentating more than I did the game. And then I just got hooked on it. And then I just couldn't get enough of it. And then I was like, I never went back to the other place.
That's crazy.
I never went back to play over there.
And as we talk here, the original stream is
right
where we are talking right now.
And I can't even begin to tell you how disappointed I was. For those of you that ever tuned in from the beginning, these guys talked about being in the bunker. They were always in the bunker. They were so many stories down at the bunker, right? So I come into this place and I go to look at the bunker, and the bunker is a closet that can't be more than 6 feet by 6 feet. I think prisoners have bigger jail cells than you guys had.
Set up right behind here.
Craziest thing I saw, and I was like, what? That's the bunker? Oh my God.
DQ, you have been truly, you have been so generous with not only Skull and I mean, the super chats that you've given us over the years have been just truly generous. We sit in chairs that you've provided us, custom chairs. So we want to thank you, first of all, for being so generous. But you're not only generous with us, you're generous overall. I've seen you tweet out when you're in Vegas, come find me, and you get $100 or $1,000. Tell us what goes on with that part of you. Why do you get such a good feeling of giving back?
Well, I've been very blessed, and my family's been taken care of. And so I've always wanted to give back. And so I give back in a philanthropic way. I do a lot of charity work, usually with children. My youngest son, for those that don't know, has autism, severe autism. So any type of charity that's around children, I'm always involved with, and I always want to donate my money to. And so when I started doing the Max Payne stuff, and I started creating hats and T-shirts and things like that, a lot of people wanted them. And I decided, what would be really cool is if anybody who wanted one, I would send it to them for free. And whatever it cost me to make the shirt, make the hat, and the shipping, I would then donate that exact amount of money to charity. Wow. And so then it just kind of went into how do I expand the brand or whatever else. And so when I would go to Vegas or I would go to different places, I would just see if anybody recognized me. So then I would just start throwing out, hey, if you recognize me for the first 10 people, I'm going to give you this. Or sometimes I would do, if you find me within this long, we will do a free spin on roulette for $500 or whatever else. You can pick red, black, or anything you want, win or lose, etc. So it's really more just to have fun, nothing else. I don't do this to make money. I don't do this to try to get income or anything like that. I just do it just to have fun and to meet people and truly just be an ambassador to the poker community.
So we're going to ask something that you haven't really talked about much. You have been known to bring your own chair to various live streams.
He flies with it in his suitcase. It breaks down.
In the overhead bin.
Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand why. They think maybe it's a vanity thing. Can you share with us why you bring your own chair?
Yeah, it's interesting. I for as much as I get made fun of for the chair, I find it interesting that no one really ever asks me about the chair. The chair goes back all the way to 2008. And in 2008, that was the first time that I was diagnosed with cancer, and it was colon cancer. At that time, for any man under the age of 40 who's ever going to be diagnosed with cancer, it's like a 1 in 4 million chance. Right. And so I took it for the rest of all the men at that time. But it becomes very painful. And after the procedures and so forth, it was uncomfortable sitting. So I was playing home games at the time, and I just couldn't sit comfortably. So I would bring my own pillow from home, like we lay in a bed, and I'd have to put it behind my back. And I would have to put it behind my back and on my butt, and I would have to sit on it. And I did that forever. like literally forever. And I've had cancer multiple times. And so when I first got introduced to card houses, I would bring my pillow to the card house.
Right.
And of course, you can't bring a pillow to the card house without literally everybody who doesn't know you laughing, making fun of you, and whatever else. And so at the time, I was playing at Rounders, and I knew the general manager, Scott Lopez. We call him Scotty Karate. And Scotty says, listen, I appreciate you coming out. You are creating the bigger games. You're driving business. Is there anything we can do for you? And I said, yes. I could really use my own chair. This is just so uncomfortable. And he's like, well, what do we do? And so we went out and we built a Maximonic chair, put my name on it and whatever else. They stored it for me so that every time I came in, I would have a chair that was comfortable enough with a lot of cushion that I could sit in to make me feel comfortable. And then when I first started going to play in Austin, I would take my chair, I would put it in the back of my truck, and I would drive it all the way up here.
I remember
that. And then
that.
after a while...
that became annoying.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It did. But then the owners was wonderful, and they asked
deal.
about it. I told them why, and they said that they would allow me to have a second chair and have it up there. And then, of course, the other places kind of followed suit and had the chairs from there.
So how many chairs do we have now total? Are we at 4 or 5 in the family?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 in the
So
family.
breaking news, it's not just one chair,
Six
it's
chairs,
six different
ladies and
chairs.
gentlemen.
6 chairs.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
6 chairs. And so when I was having the chair, then you guys were just laughing at my chairs. And I say, you guys, it was this guy. Like, this guy was just making fun of me all the time. Yeah, it was.
No,
and
it's
so
not
then
making fun of you. Come on.
to kind of shut him up.
I knew
I'm
this
like,
story for a while.
Once he understood how comfortable the chairs were, then I had to call your people and say, I want to buy you guys a chair, build a chair. So I built them on the colors. And then what I did was I had to have them shipped to the lodge.
That was
then I
early.
had to find somebody who could put them together. I paid them to
Josh,
put them
thank you.
together.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh. And had them put together before a specific stream so that when you guys showed up, they were there. I wasn't even there. They were there.
We still, to this day, we sit on them, and every live stream, and we thank DQ for, it was a tremendous gift. I was shocked because that was early on.
This is like 4.5 years ago,
Yeah,
I'd say.
it was a while ago. So DQ, you've got a lot of content. Obviously, you play poker, but you're getting involved in doing some content with some high stakes table games on your Instagram.
3-card poker.
And tell us a little bit about that and where you want to go with that.
So I take a lot of cruises, and the cruises, they have casinos on there, and I would take video shots of my slot winnings before I would watch them on YouTube and put them on there. And then I started watching the slot videos, and I'm like, okay, these guys are great, but they spend every day doing this. And then I wanted to take videos of like my table games, but as you know, casinos really don't allow that.
Yeah.
But at my level of play, they would give me like a little bit of leeway. And then all of a sudden, I started watching people filming their high stakes table games. Now, I'm not talking about the blackjack and the baccarat; those are just truly insane.
Right.
I'm talking about the 3-card poker, the ultimate hold'em, crazy 4, high card flush, things like that. And they were calling it high stakes or whatever else. And I was looking, and they had
For
like
the views. For the views.
and they got like $25 chips or whatever else. And they were horrible. They're still horrible. They can't even remember the cards they have, if they win or they lose. And I was like, this is stupid. So I talked to the people in Los Angeles at Hustler and Lucky Lady, and they gave me a media pass, and they allowed me to stream it. And so what I did was I just kind of did a test one in January, and I did it on Instagram. And I had, maybe 35 people,
I was
40
in that
people watching.
chat. I was in that chat for a while.
And when I finished playing, I was playing ultra high stakes. And I mean ultra high stakes. It was like anywhere from $800 to $1,400 a hand.
A hand.
For a long time. Not like for 10 or 20 or 30 minutes. We're talking like an hour and a half.
Right.
And I was winning. And then along the way, this guy over here says, you know what? You're actually really good at this. You should consider doing this on YouTube or whatever else. And I says, look, Mike, I don't know how to do that. And he says, I can help you. We can do this. And so I tried it again a few weeks ago. I did a couple of streams, and I did one for Crazy 4 poker. Then I did a combination of 3-card poker and Ultimate Hold'em. I taught along the way. I had a lot of fun and banter with the dealers. I mean, a lot of fun and banter.
I didn't know how to play those games, and you're going into depth on the betting structures and how you need to bet double on certain bets in certain places that a lot of common viewers and gamblers like myself didn't even know. So I was amazed to see your energy. You always have this level of energy and aura about you, and I'm just a lot of people can't find that within themselves. So where do you find that drive, whether it be on the poker table, at the 3-card table, just in your daily activities to keep you going and at that speed?
I'm going to go back to 2008 when you beat cancer several times. Your whole outlook on life, your personality, everything that you look at changes. How you look at people and human beings. You learn to just accept everybody for who they are. You learn to let things just roll off of you. I don't let any of the haters get to me. I respond to every hater with something really positive. Like when somebody says, "Oh my God, DQ, you're too loud. Shut the fuck up on the table." I go, "You know what? You're right. I'm so sorry. Next time I'll try to talk even less."
What about when you slow roll somebody? Myself, numerous times.
That has come back to haunt me so many times that you would think I would learn my lesson, because every time I slow roll him, he stacks me 2 or 3 times. So I need to stop doing that to you. And not to everybody else, but definitely to this guy.
Truce.
Yeah. Just to reiterate, we're gonna play a live stream today, and Mike goes, I really want to play today, but I don't know if there's enough room. And then he's like, but
maybe I can
taxes were just due, so and you're here. Like,
paid a lot of taxes.
Yeah, thanks.
I paid a lot
of
taxes.
Yeah.
Well, and Skull asks, knowing he's the one who curates the game, he could put himself in at any time, right?
Yeah, always when I'm here.
So
I do like playing with you. But you like playing with me.
I do.
Don't deny
I
it.
keep trying to get you, and it just does not work. That's the problem.
so let's go back. How did you get the name DQ? Where did that start?
DQ started a long time ago. And when you play home games and you come in wearing your DQ shirt because you were working, flipping burgers, dropping flies, making blizzards.
But are you?
At the time, you're doing that stuff.
At the time, on the come up.
You're doing that stuff on the come up, right? And so, people were just like, "Is that really Dairy Queen?" I'm like, "Yeah, it says it right there on the shirt." And so they just started calling me DQ for Dairy Queen. It kind of stuck after that.
You weren't disqualified from anywhere?
I might have been disqualified for a few places. That might also be accurate. But for now, DQ's Dairy Queen.
That is.
It's kind of stuck. Huh?
It kind of stuck, but also people don't realize that Dairy Queen has actually multiple facets. You could work there, you could be a manager, you could be a franchise owner, but they also don't know there's a real estate section to it. The franchise owners don't necessarily own the real estate. Somebody's got to get the real estate, and sometimes you could buy the real estate for the Dairy Queen, but not actually own the Dairy Queen itself.
Oh, interesting.
There you go.
There's a lot of different facets
Levels.
of Dairy Queen. Yes.
So we are going to go into our Jeopardy section.
Ooh, love it.
So you got to answer these questions
Okay.
in the form of a question.
In the form of a question.
We're already finished? We're at the end? Jeopardy is the last level usually.
What else did you want to ask?
I'm just,
one thing we haven't talked about is you were at one time very proficient soccer player.
I was.
What?
I was.
Tell us a little bit about that, and
I was.
how high? At what level did you play?
So back when I played, the MLS had not quite started.
Right.
So I went to the highest level that you could before MLS had started until I broke my shoulder. And for a guy who's 5'7" and a half, maybe,
What
wouldn't.
position?
I played center fullback and left fullback.
Okay.
And I used to call myself, now I do, like the Dennis Rodman of soccer. I didn't have the strongest
Did the
legs.
dirty stuff, huh?
I did the dirty stuff. I was almost always the fastest guy on the field, and I had one job, and that was to stop their best player, protect the goal, etc. And as long as I didn't get out of my range and try to do things that I couldn't do, I became a valuable asset. And so, I'm not the guy sitting there taking penalty kicks and free kicks, and I wasn't good enough to make the runs up the field. What I was good at was stopping you and distributing the ball, and that was my one thing. And then somehow throw-ins. I have a barrel chest, and so I could throw it in from the sideline to the front and the middle part of the goal. And those are the only things I had to do. And as long as I stuck to those things, there was a need for me on the team. I'm like a utility player.
Right,
I was a need.
sure, a role player.
That's all it was. Just it, nothing more.
And you started when you were a kid playing?
I
or-
started when I was probably 4 years old.
Really?
And then I played all the way through college, and then a couple of years after.
Where'd you grow up, DQ? Was it in Texas?
I did. I grew up in San Antonio.
So you've been there your whole life.
Whole life except for college, but yes.
Some Greek roots.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Greek
It's like
roots.
my family as well.
Yep.
I just had a great trip over to Greece this past summer. It was
I know you did. I was jealous.
excellent trip.
Great places to go.
Back to the poker, DQ. You've
Yeah.
had the great fortune to be traveling around to all these live streams and studios, and you've played with so many people that you probably would not have thought you'd had the opportunity to play with just a couple of years ago. Who are some of the people that you enjoyed playing with the most, and who are some of the people that you look forward to playing with in the future?
Well, I can answer the one in the future the most. I've always wanted to play with Daniel Negreanu. I like his table talk. I like the way he does it. And I feel like a lot of the things that I do, I feel comfortable with somebody like that. One of the first fun players that I really played with Chance Corneth from
Yeah.
from the professional
Thought you were
levels.
gonna say Chance.
And
He's appeared
Chance
on
and
our
I,
live stream.
and Chance and I have remained good friends to this day. In fact, when we were in Germany, we happened to be there at the same time. We went to Oktoberfest together.
Oh, nice.
We had some.
I saw those videos, by the way.
Yeah.
Very well
was
done.
a couple months ago.
We had some good times, and I think along the way, I've just enjoyed playing with people who were poker personalities. And if you have a good vibe about you, if you have good energy, I like playing with you. If you don't have a good vibe, Mike Matosow, not so much, right? He was a great player, but he kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I'm sure I rub him the wrong way and some of these other people. And so I think that what happened was I would start playing with them, and I don't care who likes or doesn't like. I love Matt Berkey. I love watching him. I like playing with him. I just think I just like everything about him.
Sure.
I like Landon Tice. I like those guys. And when I got to play with them, we had fun together. And I realized they look at me like I'm just the poker idiot and whatever else. But that's okay. I didn't mind. I was having a great time. And so it just becomes fun for me to play with the people that we see on TV every single day. Not that I feel like I'm one of them. We all know I'm not. But, at every game, you got to have the guy who doesn't mind punting off the money. And let's just face it, there's not many punters as good as me.
But you say that you're not one of them.
I think
but
your game's improved tremendously over the last couple of years.
You have become well known. I mean, people recognize you. We had
do.
somebody earlier before we started come up and said they were a big fan of yours. They watch you all the time. How has that, people come up to me at Skull and say, oh, we listen to the live stream. It always makes me feel a little bit weird. Like I never thought people would actually come up to me and want to take a picture with me. How has that worked?
I've enjoyed it like anybody else does. It makes the head just slightly a little big. You're not going to lie about that. But at the same time, I think that when people get to know me outside of poker, that it's not the same. I'm very genuine. I'm more humble. I'm very giving. I will take care of all of my friends and do everything that I possibly can to help them out. Like the two of you, I'm the person that they would call if you needed something in a moment to take care of, the same way that they would call you all. And so
what happens when the lights come on and you just want to murder everybody?
Listen,
Run
okay.
it one time.
I know
max
exactly what it
pain,
is.
Leave them broke. Slow roll them, send them back to California like Efan.
I love you, man.
What happens here?
It's the stupid VPIP. Okay, it's the effing VPIP. And if every stream would ever get rid of a VPIP, then I could play like everyone else. But for some reason, the competitive
can't be
nature
known
comes
as
over.
a
I
nit.
cannot be known as a nit.
Well, you once had a stream where you nearly had 100% VPIP.
No, I did with you guys. I had 100% VPIP with you guys.
100%.
I played. It was a 2-5. I played every single hand, most of it blind, until we got to the flop. Even this guy was trying to get me off it, and he went all in, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's not going to work. I call. And I won that hand too, but that wasn't the point. So, it's when I play like now on your streams, like my goal is actually to get below 40%. If I can get to 40% or below, I give everyone on the production booth $100. Just if I can do that.
No. I don't want the $100. I want 60, 70%.
I know you do. I would like to, but I don't know why.
Bring that sub 40 shit someplace else.
When I watch the streams like everyone else, and I watch people who play 20% of the hands, 23% of the hands, and they're playing premiums, it's boring as shit, guys. It's TV. It's entertainment. What we're doing is TV and entertainment. So if you're going to come on the stream and you're going to play like you do in your poker house or at the casino or whatever else, save that shit there. Yeah. You're coming on for the personalities, the fun, and everything that goes about with it. And so I don't mind what people don't realize. I don't mind being a losing player on the stream because there's an after stream. Right. An after stream, I usually wreak havoc and I destroy and I get the money back. Not always, but I usually do. Sometimes, thanks to my good friend Cinnabon, hopefully he's not watching today, he likes to do flips. I know he is. And he does flips afterward, and he sucks at flips. And I love it.
Yeah, that is so funny.
But I love Cinnabon.
So before we go into Jeopardy, where did this whole Max Payne idea come in?
Yep.
You're wearing Max Payne right
It came
here?
from the two of you and watching your stream and some of the other ones. And I got so fucking annoyed by watching streams and people running it twice. Over and over and over. And on one of the streams, I want to say somebody ran it twice, like 9 or 10 times, and each time it chopped.
Right.
And I was super chatting and going, this is bullshit. We want Max Payne. We don't want this stuff. And I had always been saying Max Payne. I've always ran it once anyways. And so then it kind of caught on, and then I immediately went to the attorney and I copywrote it.
Oh, nice.
And it turns
I did
out
not know that.
You cannot copyright Max Payne. The Max Payne actually exists from the video game series. You can't do that.
Right.
But you can copyright Max Payne, run it once.
Okay.
So I did that. And then because of all of the shows that I've been on with you guys and done it, when the other show in LA started doing it on their Monday show.
You can say it, Hustler.
Hustler.
We
love that
love
place.
them.
Yep.
We love those guys.
They were trying to pick a name for their Monday show, and they let the chat pick it out. And the chat over and over and over picked out Max Payne Monday, Run It Once. It came over. So they chose it, but they didn't know it was mine. And then somebody had messaged me and goes, "Do you know that they're stealing your name?" And I go, "No." And I tuned in. I'd never tuned in. I tuned in.
So how much did Ryan pay you for the name?
We're not going into those discussions. You gotta give me a break. You gotta give me a break. So I called him up and I said, "Hey, I understand you called your stream that." And I go, "Yeah." And I go, "Did you know they named it after me?" And they go, "No." And I go, "Do you know I have it copywritten?" They go, "No." And they go, "What do you want to do?"
So
and
you
I
signed for 20 shows?
I basically said, "I want to play on the show." And they said, "Okay, what do you want?" And I go, "And I'll tell you exactly how much they paid me. I want nothing. I don't want one penny. I don't care. I didn't create this so that I could make money off of it. I created it so that if somebody wanted to use it, they would invite me on the show. That's all it was. Nothing more than that.
There you
that was
go.
it. Yeah.
So
And
Max
Max
Payne
Payne.
Tuesday coming to the lodge.
Let's go. I'm excited about when we finish the lodge in San Antonio, the new one.
Yes.
Because we're going to have a room in there. And
It's going to be outstanding.
I want to
We're
make a
gonna-
DQ
I've
room. I want to have.
fun.
I've seen the layout.
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
So let's go into Jeopardy. We're going to
Ready.
ask you a series of questions. You're
Yep.
going to earn 5 points for every right answer. You have to
God.
answer in the form of a question.
Question, and I got to answer it right.
And and then at the end, we'll double Jeopardy. Now, I have to tell you, we've done several shows, and no one has
Swept.
has come up with any points because they risk everything on
Right.
it and they don't get it. So here we
Okay.
go.
I'm not going to do any better.
Here we go. All right. You are the one and only DQ.
Okay.
In what year was the first Dairy Queen open?
Ooh.
Do we know the answer to that?
What is 1953?
Very close. The answer was 1940 in Joliet, Illinois.
Okay.
So you get 0 on that one. So
That's
you're
pretty close.
yes,
close.
Very close.
I knew what era, but I didn't quite think it was that early.
You're a huge Spurs fan. Grew
I
up
am.
in San Antonio. How many NBA titles have the Spurs won?
Ooh, what is 5?
You are right. 5 points for DQ. They
I
have
was
won
at-
5 points.
Every single one, thank you.
In 2003, I received a ring. I was a Spurs employee.
I did
You
not
didn't
get
wear
that.
that today?
I did not wear it.
I got a basketball, but I don't have a ring.
All right, this one's an easy one. We
Not-
always give a couple
that
easy
means
ones.
I'm going to get it wrong.
Austin is known as the live music capital of the world. What is your hometown, San Antonio, known as?
What is the hard rock capital of the world?
Ooh, I did not have that. Is that correct?
100% correct. Because in the
Okay.
70s,
What do you
we were
have?
listening to
I
Rodney
have,
James Dio.
what is the
and,
Alamo City?
that is what it is now.
Okay.
But I promise you, in the 70s, it was the hard rock capital of the world.
Okay.
That's
It's not,
where
it's not the
all
70s anymore.
We're gonna give you
2020. How old are you?
Well, old enough to know what the hell it meant in the 70s. I like listening to rock and roll, baby.
You're a huge soccer fan. Here's your next question.
Oh, boy.
How many different groups of 4 teams make up
Christ.
the World Cup?
This is tough. I don't know the answer to this either.
How many groups of 4?
Yes.
8. What is 8 groups of 4?
There are 12.
12
groups
now,
of
that's right.
4.
Right.
There are
Because
12.
there's now, you're right, shit, 48.
So sticking with soccer, coming down the home stretch,
Lot of
which
soccer
country
questions.
has the most World Cup championships?
Ooh,
Is
that's a
it
good one. I want to
Italy,
say
France, or Brazil?
I think, what is Brazil?
Brazil is correct.
I knew the answer.
Yeah, I don't know why we
just-
need multiple
yeah,
choice.
I didn't
there,
need
Rick.
multiple choice on
You
that
felt
one.
bad
Yeah,
for
yeah.
him?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so you've earned 15 points.
Great.
Do you want to risk all of them for your
No,
final
I will risk 10 points so that I can finish with something.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's
The first
Yeah.
guess not to risk it all.
Yeah.
That's kind of like running it twice. if
No,
you
it's
think
not.
about
Not
it.
even close.
It's
No, but if no
kinda-
one,
it's a little bit nitty.
If no one has
It's a
finished with
little
points,
bit nitty.
why not be the first?
All right.
Wow.
So here is a question.
He lied
This is
to you, by the way. Some people have finished with points. So.
This is a tougher question. It's a
Okay.
2-part question. According to the internet, as of this morning,
The World Wide Web?
the World Wide Web, there are 4,168 total Dairy Queens in the United States.
Okay.
The question is in 2 parts. Which state has the most Dairy Queens?
Right.
And within 5%, how many Dairy Queens does that state have? So, 2-part question, and we'll be a little lenient on this.
Not
so
too lenient. Not too lenient.
you're the state with the most
What
Dairy
is
Queens.
what is Texas?
Correct.
Yeah.
Texas has the most,
Yeah.
and within 5%.
Yeah.
So, in other words,
I'm going to go.
He's a total number.
What is 290?
but no, we want a percentage
Oh.
of the total.
Oh, the total. Okay. So
the
then,
total.
what is 6%?
That is incorrect. The answer is 13%
13?
of all Dairy Queens are in Texas. DQ, you do wind up with points.
I'll take
Our
points.
first ever guest.
See?
You wind up with
See,
5
first
points.
ever.
And
That's
D-
not a nit.
No,
That's the first.
He's lying to you.
D-
Look
D-
at
He's
this
lying to
face.
your
Look
face.
at this face. This face
He
is
just
not.
lied to you.
There's no lie. There's no lie.
DQ,
Yeah.
you are a legend. Seriously, we love you so much. You're part of our family, and we realize how much you love this place too.
I do. I do a lot.
And
my
DQ,
favorite.
You're always welcome.
Appreciate it.
Plenty of good things ahead for you. I'm really looking forward to your new channels, having you always here on the Felt, joining us,
Yep.
and just your entire aura is felt all the way up and down I-35 and from state to state, east to west coast and beyond. So
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank y'all both. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you both. Appreciate you both.
Yes.
So, folks, like and subscribe to our channel, Cards and Cocktails. We'll bring you guests just like DQ throughout the next few months. Take care, everybody.